Guys, so we might sell Junior. Now that'll catch you off guard. You say, why would you sell Ego Junior? I go through a 7-month analysis. We get to that midway mark before we get into the 9-month mark, and we put in perspective where we're trying to take our program. In the next video, I'll break down if I had to get rid of every dog, which ones I would keep, which ones I would let go, and which ones are going to get us to the promised land, aka that AMT. And most people say, you know what, you had this dog, you're stuck with it. Look, we're not stuck about nothing. People will buy these dogs. And even more importantly, sometimes you just got a good dog, and a good dog's not a bad dog. A good dog's a great dog, and this is a good dog. But is it great for what we're doing? I heard a doctor once in a speech say, when you go in and you look at normal testosterone levels, they're good, but they're not optimal. Well, what's optimal look like? It's good if you're on half a tank, but you always feel better when there's a full tank of gas. So if I can go a little bit further, man, that half tank, you be like, well, we got to stop soon. You get there, you be like, hey, boy, you crossing that, boy, we at 3/4, and E don't mean everlasting. So when we're looking at optimizing our program, what we're trying to achieve, where we're going, and even putting Jamarcus in the best position possible, you say, hey, what do we need to do here if we're not seeing traits, characteristics that we like to see at this stage in the game per se? And nobody's playing the game because these dogs require a lot of time, energy, effort, and intent. And everything he's doing, definitely what I do, is super intentional, and it's a lot of times off camera. So let me put him through a little analysis and I'll show you what I'm looking for. For one, Junior, come here. Come here. Okay, so let me see that leash. So first things I would do is I look at, oh man, this way. We would analyze his come and go. So you say, okay, I'll walk, let's go. Hold on. Where his feet are placed at. You start seeing movement in the back. You start seeing paddling, as they say, those feet roll around. You start seeing a lack of motivation. You turn around and you say, hey, do I want to double down this right now? You say, can we work through this? Of course. You've seen what we did with Tron. Now the challenge is I saw things in Tron that I believe we had to bring out. Can I live without Ego number 2? Absolutely. What is interesting, to be clear, which is proven why we would even take Ego to Nala, is that he's not turning out Easty-Westy. His feet are pretty tight, and by the time Ego hits 7 months, let me tell you, them feet start looking like this here. He's like the Fonz, hey. So you say, Maya's trait is more rooted in her conditions versus her actually being Easty-Westy. Ego's dad, beyond a reasonable doubt, is Easty-Westy, and all of his brothers got some slight turning of the feet. Envy, a dog that we had, Ego's sister, she got no feet problems, which definitely comes from Zara. And then we're looking at him grow up. By now, you would have seen Easty-Westy, and that doesn't mean they can't come out of nowhere, to be clear. But for the most part, his feet are pretty tight, just to be clear. So what am I looking for next? I said, hey, what gets this dog kind of motivated? And Jamarcus told me, hey, he's not super motivated just yet. So I'm gonna get a little something out of here and see if we can get him motivated. We got a little flirt pole. We got a little pole, a little flirt. And we got a little burlap sack. That's burlap trash. Now here's the thing. You say again, why would you X him out of the program so early? When you're building something bigger than yourself, you have to fire fast and hire good people. Higher value, fire fast. He's a dog that becomes a responsibility, which increases our bottom line. Our bottom line does not look good when we have dogs on the books per se that will not turn into not profit but building our dream. Therefore, where's the opportunity if we just afford a dog a lifestyle, take care of something that's never going to add value long term? It's got to go, but doesn't mean he's going to go anytime soon. Junior. Good boy. Now mind you, I'm seeing some stuff that isn't terrible. He's not afraid. He's going back to Jamarcus, which isn't a bad thing, but he's distracted. And mind you, trying to act just like this. Trev was like this at 7 months, and Junior's hitting that 7-month range. He acted just like this, but look, here he is back on it. And mind you, he needs to be a little toughened up per se, and that isn't nobody hurting the dog, people. That's basically my energy being poured into the poor boy. When you're dealing with stuff, you know, bad things happen all the time. We don't breed dogs to look at them. We breed dogs so that they can fit our lifestyle. I took the general on a 2.4 mile walk earlier in 91-degree weather, and he was fine. He go, them other jokers, they'd have died in them conditions. They wouldn't have made it, to be clear. We would have been at mile 5, and they could do a mile in this heat. But I've had to carry Ego before, and it wasn't. It's actually like, for Texas, what we've been dealing with, 105 as we change, this is nice. This is like, whoo. And just when you think, you know what, we got good weather, I'm gonna take Ego out here, such and such, then his leg. Now his leg, you like, what happened here? Well, let's take a look at the yard. Check this out. We got this right here. Now mind you, this is a whole crack. I kept him out of here when we was working the other day, and we have video proof. We literally have video proof of me working him in these things, and then the next morning, what happened? Look at this right here. Another little fun spot where you could roll your ankle. Oh, I just did. Roll your ankle, boom. Now my ankle all rolled up, and I'm screwed. So, where I thought, hey, and even this little hole right here, imagine his paw hitting this thing here, that little indentation, and boom. And I did like this. I looked at the hole. I repeat, we have video. Like I said, we're gonna record a little bit of light work. We have video, and I moved right in here to get him going, but trying to make sure he didn't hit no crack. But what happens when he runs and goes this way? Slide, slide, slide. He don't just stop on a dime. Guys, stranger things, worse things have happened. We're $8,000 in on legs. It's not a fun thing. I have no interest in spending more money on surgeries or problems. Do you run to the vet? No, we analyze the symptoms. What are the symptoms? Legs a little tight. Don't want to put that much pressure on it. He's actually putting his foot out this way, going more easty-westy to alleviate some pressure. He's actually not rushing to go out the door. And even worse, he ain't even trying to get on the bed. In this case, you know, I know some people don't like their dogs on beds. It don't bother me none. He's sleeping on the floor. And at one point, I looked over to just make sure he wasn't dead last night. I'm like, yo, Chuck better not die over here. He was on the right side of the bed where there's no dog bed. And I tell you, I was like, yo, I don't even know if this joker's breathing. So I said his name, he popped his head up, but he was dead tired, and he ain't been doing nothing. We're going on day 2 of him not being able to move. So he said, what's the worst thing that could happen? Your dog hurt its front leg, to be clear. I'm better off with the back leg. But the front leg is where 70%, if not 60% of their weight is, and a lot of those dogs are front wheel drive. Junior, in this case, you're looking for traits and characteristics that should be passed on from mother and father, but definitely the mother to the kid. And even Maya took a lot to get motivated. That was 2 years of work. But we look long term, is he a dog that's going to solve a problem for us? No. Is he going to create a problem? No. Are we just going to breed some more good dogs? Potentially. Does that get us to the dogs that we want? Absolutely not. So when you're analyzing this, you say, should we keep him? Should we sell him? Should we put him you know, at someone else's house that we trust, that we can co-own? What do we do in this predicament? Because you guys, even if we were studying our dogs out, you guys are motivated by the dogs that can do. That's the gist of it. So if you come and say, I want a fit bully, and you got a fit bully who can't do nothing, and Jamarcus and them have the right. This is one of the dogs I said, you guys can stud out as much as you see fit, but I repeat, if he can't do nothing, you know, hey, can I use Ego? Hey, can I use Tron? Hey, can I use? I'd be like, no, no, no. So when they get to keep a boy per se, they get to do as they please. But then the other problem is now if the dog don't do nothing, then people ain't pleased. So how do you actually, even in their case where I said, guys, feel free, not just to profit, but to better the dog world with this dog and teach people when using the dog and implementing him in the breeding program, how do you better the dog world if the dog don't match what we're doing? Again, he's a good dog. So you say, you know what? We might just put this good dog in a good place. And that could be in someone else's hands where they get to just love and enjoy him and be like, yo, I love Ego Jr. And there'll be some people I would call first to see, hey, you interested? This is what I'd be willing to do for you. And to be clear, Jamarcus gets to keep all that money if he chooses to sell it. So, food for thought. Whenever you're building your program, you've got questions or comments or concerns and thinking about the bigger picture. When you're building something great, people, you have to make tough decisions. And it's no tough decision when the picture is bigger than a dog. This whole thing's bigger than Ego. It's way bigger than Tron. It's bigger than Hera. It's bigger than Zara. It's bigger than every dog that we own. Because if these dogs don't get better, if they don't improve, 8 hours, 6 to 7 hours a day, we focus on our dogs. So you go, how much more can we actually do? I went to the gym this morning, came back, grabbed the general, and spent 30 minutes just walking around Arbor Hills with him, only to come back, take care of some more dogs, going back to the gym, and deal with some more dogs here in a little bit. See what I'm saying? Buying this medication and giving them the stuff like this. We do dogs here. That's all we do. So when it doesn't map out, we have to create a new map. But we're going to give him time. We're going to see what happens. But anywho, at the same time, be on the lookout, because, you know, he could be for sale. Stay tuned, people. Take care of your dogs. As always, here, Fit Bully TV, people. Like, subscribe, and share.